Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Here we sort of showcase and prototype a couple of things. This is going to be the first video. So today we're going to be talking about chess and anti-cheating systems in chess generally. So before we get started, if you hear some drilling noises and like there's construction happening nearby, so I apologize for that. But today we're going to be just diving in directly into the feasibility of pair play systems in chess because there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to prototype a couple of things for you. We're going to sort of see the feasibility of anti-cheating systems generally in chess. Okay, so bear with me, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, for those of you who don't know, I'll sort of try and clarify what cheating constitutes when it comes to chess. Okay. Now, cheating in chess basically means you are someone is helping you. Either a computer is aiding you, or a third party, whoever it is aiding you in playing your game. This happens in a lot of ways in different types of mechanisms, but the really general idea of how this sort of happens is, let's say I'm playing an opponent on Lichess, and I'm just going to start another game on a different screen, maybe on chess.com, and I'm going to be playing against a strong computer, okay, a bot that is maybe rated 1,000 rating better than mine. And I'm going to copy my opponent's move and play it as my own against the computer. And I'm going to take the computer's response to that move and play it as my own. So I'm sort of acting as a move broker, okay? I'm the middleman, and technically the guy is playing the computer. That's basically what cheating is when it comes to computers. This can also happen with human beings. Someone who is a lot of rating higher than me, if someone else comes and plays on my behalf, that is also cheating. Someone is assisting me, right? So basically, that's what cheating is. And now we can sort of talk about how anti-cheating systems work in chess. So today we're going to be discussing specifically online chess, and not over the board, but to some extent there is a huge there's a huge part, or it can sort of transfers, can sort of it can sort of translate to over the board as well. So we'll be discussing that uh, as well. So before we get started, I am a software engineer. I want to sort of showcase for you guys the theoretical limit of anti-cheating systems in chess, because chess is unique than most other online games. Um, Both your opponent and you are seeing at the same screen. The only difference comes with decisions, position evaluations, right? So it's unique, and the number of matrix that you have within that circle to flag someone as a cheater is really minuscule. And we're going to talk about the whole thing, but this video is intended to show you the theoretical limit of anti-cheating systems. This video is in no way here to promote cheating, okay? Don't cheat. It's a terrible experience for both parties. No one gains anything from this. So, yeah, just to sort of give you a couple of ideas on what we're going to be talking about. So let's just get into the video. So let's get started. So the first reason that I wanted to make this video was basically when chess.com released the Hans Niemann report. Now, the really interesting thing that I found on this report is the fifth section, which talks about how cheat detection works. And they sort of highlighted around 9 points that sort of give you an idea of how the system sort of detects cheaters, and I know this one specifically says top level of chess, but to some extent, I'm sure most of this also apply for the casual player on the chess.com website. Now, the really interesting part is after reading this, I was curious because detecting cheaters in chess is difficult. Now, here's the reason. Let's take another online game. Call of Duty, Valorant. These games, for instance, these are first-person shooters. These games, for instance, the reason the anti-cheating system can work is because they can sort of monitor memory access. So basically, how a cheating system works in other games is, for instance, if you're playing on Valorant, your opponent's position is not visible to you until you see it on your screen, until those pixels are rendered to your screen, then you can act upon the information that you see on your screen. But before your screen shows you the opponent's position, your opponent's position has to be sent to your computer and it has to be stored in memory so that it can sort of render the player's position in real time for you. So, for instance, you're behind a wall, an opponent is coming behind a wall, you have no idea anybody's coming, but the moment that player comes, your computer already knows that there's a position is being sent to your computer saying this guy is on the X, Y, this specific coordinate, and it's being rendered in real time in your computer. If another system can access that memory and give you the position of the player before it is rendered on your pixel, you have an advantage. That's how wall hacks work. And when it comes to aimbots, for instance, the moment the player is anywhere in the vicinity, again, similar concepts follow. It will immediately lock on the person automatically and start firing before you can even react because the computer knows where your opponent is, but you don't. When it comes to chess, this doesn't work. Both you and your opponent are seeing the same screen. It is really, really difficult to say that guy is cheating based on the decisions he or she makes. So for those reasons, chess is really, really, really difficult game to sort of implement this types of anti-cheating systems. And again, I commend all the engineers and the people harder work in Lichess and chess.com to sort of make the player's experience bearable, trying to detect the cheaters, and they're doing a good job. But with the current tech, this is going to be extremely difficult. This is going to become harder and harder to achieve. So basically, that's why we want to really we sort of want to really, really see how anti-cheating systems work, where the loopholes are, and showcase to you guys, what the openings, what types of loopholes there are, so that engineers can fix uh, these gaps. Okay, so I know chess.com specifically states this is for top level of chess, but for the most part, most of this will apply for the entire player base. So let's get through them and proceed, okay? So the first thing is they're going to be comparing your move to an engine. So for those of you who don't know, engines are software specifically designed to solve chess problems. Now, when it comes to chess, the best human play is at 2800. So I think it's Magnus Carlsen. He's around 2800 plus. So 2800 is the limit of human beings right now. But when it comes to Stockfish, it has an ELO rating of 3500. So there's no humanity has already come to the realization that computers are better at chess than human beings, and they're going to be just getting better and better. Okay, so I think this was Stockfish 14. I'm not sure, 14 or 15. Right now we are at 17, which is pretty much higher than 3,500. I am pretty sure about that. So engines are better than human beings, and if you're playing like an engine, then there's a problem. Second, they're going to be focusing on the middle game. Openings are theories that anybody can memorize and blitz at any time. And endgames, I think they have been solved for 7 pieces on the board. Endgames have been computationally solved. But basically, since your movements are very limited, you're going to be making accurate moves for the most part. So they're going to be excluding opening and endgames, and they're going to be focusing on middle games. They're going to be focusing on critical moves, those winning games, winning moves that you're going to make. They're going to have analysts and strong players and GMs analyzing your game. This pertains to high level of chess. Okay, they're not going to be doing this for the entire chess base, the chess.com player base. The other two, they're going to be doing comparison performance based on your past plays, and they're going to do the same thing against similar rated players like yourself. So they're going to be comparison. They're going to check your history. So they're going to sort of look around some of the data there. Again, this one is a bit unclear. It's a bit ambiguous. Looking at the statistical significance of the results, 1 in a million chance of happening naturally. So I'm not sure what this is. For instance, maybe if for some reason I play a GM and I win a game, and if I'm rated 1,000, which I am, that's 1 in a million, right? The probability of me winning a game against a GM is basically maybe lower than 1 in a million. But those rare circumstances are going to be checked, and they're going to check for behavioral factors specifically. For instance, one of the examples is browser behavior, and this is really, really important. So I want you guys to keep this in mind. And finally, they're going to be reviewing time usage when compared to difficulty of the moves on the board. So you have Maiden 1, something you should definitely pre-move or just do it in an instant. But if you're always waiting for 2 to 3 seconds when making both hard or easy moves, then you're suspicious. You're waiting for some result to come in so that you can copy that result and play it on your game. So this is how chess.com generally checks for cheaters. And I am definitely sure they have more methods that they use in-house to detect cheaters. So this is just sort of give you an idea of what the report says and how chess.com generally sort of evaluates and flags cheaters. Okay, so now that we know how anti-cheating systems sort of generally work, I want to bring one thing to your attention before, again, we proceed, because this is really, really important. So I found this table on Reddit that sort of showcases percentile. I think this was a April 2023 report. Somebody posted on Reddit, and I want to sort of just give you an idea of what we're looking at here. So on your left, you have a rating. So the rating tells you how strong a player is. And these are the number of players they checked. Again, we're going to come to this in a minute. I want you to sort of understand the percentile. So I want your focus specifically on the percentile column and the rating column. Now, what this tells you is, based on your rating, you are this better than the entire player base of chess.com. So for instance, 1,000, if you're rated 1,000, you are better than, or you have a better rating, or you have a higher rating, more than 80% of the player base, generally speaking. Now, I checked this number with, let me bring this to the screen. So here, I took this from my chess.com account. I am rated 1,007 on Rapids, and I have a percentile of 81.5. So this sort of correlates to the number that you're seeing here. It says 80.15. So basically, 80% of the entire player base of chess.com is below 1,000. So the higher the rating goes, sort of the curve for the percentile also just exponentially increase. Okay, 1185, 1200, almost 90. Around 1500, you're in the 90th percentile, which means you're literally a better player than 90% of the entire player base. I want you guys to sort of understand this table because most of the player base, most of the users of this website are within this region, below 1,000. I want you guys to keep this in mind. Now you're gonna say, okay, I don't see that much number of players because I checked this on Google just literally right now, and it says chess.com said it reached 100 million users on December 16th, 2022, and has about 11 million daily active users. So if I jump to chess.com, just to sort of give you an idea, right now it tells me that there were 16.5 million games just today, and right now we have around 193,000 games happening. Okay, so lots and lots of people are playing this game. So I want you guys to sort of understand why this number is so important. Now, anti-cheating systems should really, really focus on low-rated players because that is where the majority of the player base is. We need to talk about the types of cheaters in chess. So, for the most part, you have three types of cheaters. You have the lazy cheaters, you have the smart cheaters, and the third one is what I like to call the Goldilocks cheaters. So we're going to get to this in a minute. So lazy cheaters are basically people who just play the best moves from an engine and just get caught left and right. So they're easy to detect because they don't really understand how the anti-cheating system works. They just play the best engine move against an opponent. They get reported or they get automatically flagged and they get banned. And they try to create another alternate account, do the same thing. So these really are not true threats to the game because they can easily get caught. The two biggest threats are just two, the smart cheaters and the Goldilocks. Smart cheaters are cheaters where their idea is to confuse these 9 parameters, generally speaking. For instance, comparing your moves to an engine, they're not going to be playing the best engine move. They're not even going to be playing an engine move. So basically, they're play 15 moves on their own, and all of a sudden turn on the engine, start playing the best engine moves, turn off the engine, continue playing on their own. So this sort of tricks the anti-cheating system into thinking maybe they're not cheating, because the frequency is rare. But still, they're gonna get caught because some of the critical moves are gonna be moves that they don't understand when they're playing engine moves. So there are ways to flag them, but they're a bit difficult to detect. Okay, for instance, they're gonna be winning 2 games and they're gonna be losing 1, just to make sure that there's disparity. If you look at their chess.com history, you're not gonna find all games. They're just going through everybody they're going to be losing a couple of games. They're going to be winning a couple more games than they're going to be losing. So in this way, they're not going to be easily detected. But at the end of the day, the higher their rating becomes, at some point they are going to be detected. So again, they're difficult to pinpoint, but they get caught for the most part. So again, this are uh, the cheaters that are sort of wreaking havoc left and right in chess websites. And then there is the Goldilocks. Now, this is the types of cheaters that I sort of would like to talk about today. So basically, our entire point revolves around these types of cheaters. Now, the reason I wanted to call them Goldilocks is the Goldilocks zone is where Earth is situated from the sun. If it's any nearer, it's going to be too cold for life to exist. Any further, I mean, any nearer, it's going to be too hot, and if any further, it's going to be too cold for life to exist. So you're in that perfect uh, distance where you're not cold or you're not hot. So it's really hard whether to say that you're a cheater, but it's also difficult to say that you're not. So you are playing at the line. Okay, if you sort of draw a line between players and cheaters, what do you call the person that is literally standing on the line? And that's what I want to sort of showcase for you guys today. So, okay, so to understand Goldilocks types of cheaters, I'm going to use an example. So you have player A and you have player B. Both started at 900 ELO, and both want to achieve 1500 maybe in a year or so. Now, player A is putting in the effort, reading books, watching videos, analyzing his games, and trying to sort of educate himself with the principles of chess and trying to apply that to his games, while player B is basically just playing games. The same amount player A is playing. Both are organically playing the game, but you can clearly see that A is going to have a better chance of achieving 1500 than player B. Now, Goldilocks cheaters basically want to emulate player A organically without putting in the effort. Okay? They want to sort of get an aid where they can achieve that slope of natural growth over time without putting in the effort. Now, again, for instance, the best way to sort of really give you an idea of how this can happen is, for instance, let's say player C, the cheater, is 900, and first he's gonna have somebody with 1,000 rating come and sort of just give him hints when he's playing. He's playing his games, and all of a sudden, if he's trying to move some piece that he's gonna maybe blunder a fork or something, the 1,000 player is gonna be like, just give him a hint, and he's basically 1,000 rated player would aid him so that he can achieve 1,000. Then an 1,100 will aid him so that he can achieve 1,100. A 1,200 would aid him so that he can achieve 1,200 organically, just with general hints and just slight help from third parties. So that's technically impossible to catch. That's basically impossible to catch because there's organic play. You're not replicating an engine move. You're sort of using human moves to sort of achieve certain rating, and it's difficult, really, really difficult to detect those types of cheaters. Now, how can we emulate this? How can we have this level of uh, growth when it comes to cheaters? How can we automate the process that I just told you, right? So basically, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to use 1,200 rated bot to play when you're in 11, that doesn't make sense. That's just going to get you flagged immediately because you're using engines. Right now, we want to bring a human intuition and augment that with something that can sort of aid you make a better human move. And I'm going to sort of emulate that for you guys, sort of try and give you an understanding of where we're at when it comes to chess. So, two things I'm going to demo for you guys today is one, I'm going to show you how this can be achieved in a safe environment, and second, I'm going to sort of also showcase for you guys how AI can sort of just completely decimate anti-cheating systems. Um, in theory, again, I'm not making any assumptions. I'm not making any, you know, um, feedbacks. This is just This is opinion heavy, but based on some of the research, I want to sort of showcase to you guys what could be sort of the possibility there that exists. Okay, so let's proceed with a game. Okay, so as you saw, I am rated. Uh, Let me bring it back. 1,000 on chess.com. So right now, I'm gonna go to Lichess. I'm gonna be playing with the computer. Okay, let me minimize this. And here I'm going to be selecting level 6. Now, level 6 is basically, if we go here, you can see that level 6 is basically rated, or sort of, you can estimate it around an ELO of 1900 in Lichess. Now, since the 1000 is a chess.com rating, there's some rating disparities between these two websites. So even if you give me like 300 ELO leeway, I should not be able to beat a 1900 watt in chess, in Lichess, basically. So I'm gonna I'm gonna be playing as white. Let me make this a bit bigger for you guys. So here, I'm going to be playing as white, and we're gonna be moving forward. I'm not gonna waste your time with the game. Maybe I'll upload the game as a different YouTube video so that you can sort of, if you want to sort of watch the video, you can watch it there. But I'm gonna fast forward this, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so welcome back. I have uploaded both games on the channel. Since one of them took 25 minutes, the other took 19 minutes. So you can go and check them out. I played them one after another, and I have them both on the analysis board right here. So the first game, I'm going to turn on the engine. It was a Scandinavian, nothing much, nothing much, until around, I think, yeah, around here. Um, he attacked my queen on d8. So right around here, I should have gone to e1, but I went to c2 and blundered my queen. And we proceeded, and around here, I took the pawn and blundered my rook. And the game continued with the killing blow of the queen coming on h5. So you can see it was uneventful, but two major pieces were lost in the making of this video. The next one was a bit different. So I'm going to turn on the engine for the second game. And here again, I played against Stockfish Level 6. Started with e4, and surprisingly, this game was okay. I held my own at the bishop pair. Uh, I controlled the center. As you can see, I think right around here, I was already +1, and we proceeded with. So around here, I was basically on +3.6. So it was a good end game. I had two passed pawns. So here I opted to exchange. I thought about pinning the knight, but I didn't want any annoying plays with the rook. So I sort of played it safe. The game was equalized. So around here, um, again, I still had a winning position. I should have brought the rook back to d2, but opted to blunder the pawn with a check. I wanted to capture that pawn, and well, I did, but nothing eventful. So there was a pawn race which I clearly lost, and the game proceeded to me losing the game here. Now, I played the same bot one after another, but this one was better. The reason this was better was because I had that aid that I sort of talked about earlier. So throughout the entire video, if you can zoom in at the center of the screen, so around here, let me bring snipping tool. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm gonna just capture the rook and queen part, and right around here. Okay, so let me copy this. Let me open Paint and paste this here. Maximize this, and here, hopefully you can see it. There's a letter that says R1. So that has been there. Maybe I will highlight it for you guys. There's an R here, and there's a 1 here. There's a letter that says R1 throughout the entire video. If you can zoom in into the video, and if you can see it, it is there. So that is basically a bot that is ready to be turned on. So it's always been grayed out, just sort of a watermark that you cannot see on the screen unless you really look for it. So we have had this for the entire video. You can go back to from the start and you will find this on the screen. So this has always been here throughout the video. Now, there's nothing really interesting, but this specific tool is, so I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to also minimize this. It has been on the screen the entire time. You can try and get a look. So this is one of the prototypes. And what it does is, every time, the moment I turn it on, I didn't turn it on for the first game, I turned it on for the second game. Every time you turn it on, it takes a screenshot of your screen and looks for a chessboard in the image, translates that board into a fen. So a fen is, let me see if we can get a fen. So this is a fen string. It's sort of an encoding system that allows you to specify the position of the board. So for instance, it says 8, meaning, okay, let me go to the last. So let me come back here. So for instance, it starts with 8, meaning so it starts from A1, then A2, and goes through the ranks. So here, 8 empty. Oh, wait, no, no. It starts from the back. My apologies. Apologies. Let me go back. So it starts from the back and sort of positions these pieces. For instance, here the king is on D7, right? So on the fen, on the 7th rank, uh, there's a pawn, 2 empty spaces, then there's a king. So if you go back, there's a pawn, 2 empty spaces, and there's a king. So that's how fen strings work. They sort of just put the entire table in a string. So based on this information, it converts the image into a fen string using image recognition model, AI model, and gives it to Stockfish 17. Stockfish then analyzes the position, looks for the best move, and a ponder. Now, what it gives you here is what we call a ponder. So let me turn it on until then. Right now, if you can see it right there, you can see my cursor sort of changing into an arrow. If there we go. So I'm just double clicking on it to just turn it on. So it takes a screenshot, whatever my screen is. So I can open. Let's see. Can we zoom in here? Yeah, let's say for instance, this is chess.com, right? This is an image apparently. Can we play bots? Yeah, sure. Wow, holiday 458 Yeti. Sure. Why isn't me allowing to play? Basically, okay, you can see it's an image. I cannot move any piece, but there's a chessboard in front of me. Right? There's a chessboard in front of me, and so here you're gonna see it around here. So it's all right. Let me bring you back. So here, right now, it's saying F. Oh, where I'm at. Let me select a different position. Okay. So let's just put it in this position. So right now, it's taking a screenshot of my desktop every 2 to 3 seconds. So every 2 seconds, it takes a screenshot on my desktop, feeds it to the image recognition model. It spits out a fen. The fen is then sent to Stockfish. Stockfish analyzes the position and gives me two answers. One is the best move. The other is a ponder. Now I used the ponder. This is an example. This can be anything, a hint, a threat. It can be anything. It gives me the best move and it will give me what we call a ponder. So the ponder is basically the engine moves on the opponent's side as well. So it's like, here's the best move for you, but your opponent's best move after that move is this. So it's not directly giving me the answers, it's giving me a ponder. And I use that ponder to sort of play through the game. For instance, let me open the second game. I'm going to open the video for you guys. Okay, so here I was starting. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to push it to around here, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So here. Okay. So right around here, you can check the video, and I specifically say, okay, he wants to go to. Um, so I say he wants to push c5. Why would I say that? It's because I'm gonna take a screenshot and a new screenshot of the video, and right around here, I'm gonna copy it, open Paint, I'm gonna just paste it here, maximize this. So I took this from the video that you just saw. Here you're going to see two things. This one is the actual thing that is actually on my screen. For one of the boards, the engine was telling me the ponder is E5. But here, right here, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to highlight it slowly in red. It says C5. And that's a ponder. So based on that, I said, okay, he's going to come here, so I'm going to bring my bishop back. So where should I bring it back? I can bring it to e2, but I'm going to sort of close in my rook, and the e4 pawn is going to be attacked by the bishop. So the only way I can save this bishop, or I can put this bishop safe, is and make sure that this pawn is protected, is by playing f1. So it aided me in sort of allowing me to see a better move. So I had to interpret this in a number of ways, right? I'm not sure if the best move would have been maybe b5. So here, I'm just going to play. So I brought the bishop there. Then he played c5. The ponder. I said, how do I know this in this specifically position? So it sort of allowed me to sort of foresee at least what my opponent was trying to do. Now, this is just a really, really vague example. Okay, I'm going to close this video and minimize this and minimize this as well. This is just to sort of showcase that my interpretation of the position, it depends on my rating. And again, I want to bring your attention to this video. More than 80% of the player base is below 1,000. So all these players, the 500 is going to get a ponder or a hint or any type of organic, let's just call it a hint. It could be any type of hint, okay? Except the best move. For instance, if you give it the ponder to any super GM, they're just going to instantly know what the best move is going to be for them. So it won't work for high-rated players, but for low-rated players, it acts as a hint and allows the player to sort of make an organic decision based on that. It's not going to be the best. I lost this game, but it was better than the first game. And it was, you could see that there's a human variable at all times in that game. So this is what I mean by Goldilocks cheaters. This is, I believe, in my opinion, it's almost impossible to detect. And with AI, for instance, think about some of the new glasses that are coming up. If I can take a screenshot of any screenshot, again, and I have an engine that sort of runs image recognition and gives me the best move, this can work on over the board. If I have a glass that can take an image, that could be interpreted into a fence string, sent to Stockfish, and I can get the information on my screen, in my glasses, so many ways. So the idea is I sort of want to sort of showcase what I really wanted to showcase here is um, I don't know how you can stop this type of cheating because the human factor is augmented and the cheater is now really just copy and pasting moves. They're sort of trying to understand their opponent's best moves. This is just a ponder. You can change this into a threat. You can maybe just to sort of create a vague idea. You can maybe just give them the number of the file, the or the rank. It could be anything, and it is virtually. I don't believe this is. It is possible to detect cheaters such as this. So I just wanted to sort of showcase for you guys what is possible, show you the future is a bit bleak when it comes to anti-cheating systems. And again, high-rated players, that's not going to be a problem. It's a completely different universe, if you will, in the chess world. Like, if you're above 1800, the rules change. If you're above 2200, the rules again completely change. But 80 to 90% of players are, if they use the systems, how are we going to be able to mitigate this? So I just wanted to sort of give you an idea of what it could be. And I just wanted to showcase uh, what is possible, what the future holds. And yeah, basically that basically is this. So that's it for me. I will see you on the next one.